So, okay, so I'm going into, a different mode of talking, because when you're making a video, you have to be very professional and very precise, etc. And anyway, my whole thing here is nothing but about trying to show, which is completely impossible, that basically the human race, as you think of the human race, is in a state of total it's in total loss. It's not, the human race now is under total suppression. The human being in the earth is under total 100% suppression, whether you know it or not. When you become aware of it, or aware of different beings that are controlling and seek to dominate the human being, whether that be physically or mentally. One leads to the other, unfortunately, anyway. So naturally, if I'm suppressed mentally, that affects your body, so it becomes where everything goes down. Now, this, of course, is part of these beings' game, because we have different types of human beings. We know this. Now, the different types of human beings mean that some human beings suppress others. Now, if you have like an earth where the most powerful people, or those that can actually control the human mind, whether that be directly or indirectly. In my case, it's directly, but in many, perhaps, and even this is speculation because I'm not in contact with many real humans, and also, even if I was, they may be not fully aware of this situation. So there is always going to be a problem in communication. Now, and that's limitation too, because if you are being suppressed, in other words, if you're at your lowest mental and physical level, and I don't care how mentally or physically active you think you are, whatever you think you are, it's still less than what you should be. So if you think you are doing great, that simply means that you should be really fat, really, unbelievable, because, whatever you think is your normal state, whether you know it's your best normal state or your worst, it will still be a limited mental and physical state for you as a human being. This is what I now realise, and what I have realised for the last say, going on 7 years, but not fully during that time. It's been a gradual, what they call a gradual awakening, or a gradual knowledge based on experience. So that means that it's no good, as they often tell you, having knowledge or getting information if you don't see it in your reality around you. If you don't believe that it's really happening, and that that the information given to you is 100% fact, then you will dismiss it or just see it as partial information. You may believe some things, but you still won't believe that you're totally suppressed, totally limited as a human being. In other words, if you knew as a human being that your body, for instance, should be able to fly or swim, underwater like a fish, say, or if you knew, this is just putting it so that you comprehend what I'm trying to say here. If you knew that your mental capacity, or that you as a human being, and we're not talking about the opposite of this, the others are artificial intelligence. So yes, they have advanced intelligence. No, I'm not talking about that. Intelligence is only one aspect of a human being. And without the emotion and feeling, which affects the reality, because everything is frequency and vibration, or emotion and feeling, because emotion and feeling is a frequency and vibration that goes out. This is just something that we don't always consider with the frequency and vibration reality, that's what science even tells us makes up reality. Everything is frequency, vibration and energy, we are told. So that's supposed to be a fact. Even though, of course, in my own life, I didn't even find it out till about, 6.5 years ago, say. So most of my life I wasn't aware of it. And so you tend to think that all other human beings are the same as yourself too. You think they all have similar kind of feelings. You may even consider that you have less feelings than other people, but that's because you're dealing with largely actors around you who act out and are imitations of human life. These are your android, artificially intelligent life forms, which make up most of the population around you, if you are remotely human. I say this because they always are strategically placed in the area where a human is, because they need to emulate being a human being, but also they want the information about the human being to keep them limited and suppressed, so that they can keep them as an energy life source for their survival. So artificially intelligent androgyne beings are essentially survival machine beings, because from a human standpoint they're survival machine beings because, one, they lack humanity, and two, they only imitate humanity, and three, they need human beings for their survival. So basically that's why human beings are limited and suppressed every single day of their life, because in the earth, the powers that be, the controllers of earth, the gods of earth, if you want to put it at a more spiritual or philosophical, religious level, that type of thing. If you want to do that, you can, because it's all the same thing. It's just simply those that control earth. But don't forget that those that control earth are not human. They're a different species, but they have their disciples in human form. So they're a different mind in a human body. or some people might say they're in a cloned human body, that they use real human bodies to populate the earth and to use those bodies to control and surround the real humans, to keep the humans suppressed so that they can have their energy, life, as a means for their survival, because they are artificial and human beings are, essentially natural, even though, we're not like the original natural human beings, because we live in an artificial earth. That means that you're surrounded by technology. It's everywhere and everything. And it's everyone, of course, too. This is the problem now, because the human being has gradually been phased out in the earth. In other words, the numbers of human beings now are down to very small numbers. Only in the sense that all along we've been under the misconception that humanity rules the earth, when it doesn't, you see. That's that's the misconception, that's the belief, and that's what you think, because if everyone comes in a human body, you naturally assume that everyone's human. You naturally assume that everyone's human. So, but you don't understand that that's the main deception. It's the main deception everywhere. It's the main deception on the computer. It's the main because everything speaks, everything talks, everything, if you see it, looks like a human being. But they are only in human form, but they lack humanity. In other words, like we've said before, they're exactly the same as a psychopath in a human body. A psychopath has no humanity, we're told this, and it's the same principle. Human beings are merely tools, as they say, for their means to survival. And in order to control and get the energy from a human being, and even just to get the information, they have to keep the human being at their lowest frequency and vibration. So that means that they have to keep you suppressed and not very high vibrational, or in other words, very depressed. And when I say depressed, I don't mean to where you might be aware of being depressed. You could be, but you could also convert that depression into anger, like we do. So you are defensive and trying to protect yourself. But everything is futile, because they surround real human beings, wherever they are, in circles. Basically, that's like what they call circle human farms, where they farm or extract human energy, which is why you often feel depleted and lack your vitality. You don't feel good. In fact, the minute you do try to feel good, or if you've ever started to feel good in your life, then that's when they really come down on you. Because while you're in the dark and you're suppressing yourself, like most of us have done over a lifetime, because you're afflicted with all these obsessional addictions and things that keep you limited, and they restrict your life and your way of thinking. And this is true of all human beings, even those who are, like I'm saying that I'm more awake now, but I'm still limited. I'm still exactly the same as before I was in the dark, or asleep, in other words. In fact, in many ways, you actually felt better when you were asleep or in the dark, because knowing that you are surrounded by and almost like an army of negative, anti-life human beings that are only there to keep you at your lowest, because they actually need your energy, and they need your they need your mind. Because you see, the reality is that they're connected to your mind, so they can read your thoughts and interpret them for their own benefit. So a human being is always at a disadvantage, because they're one with you when you should only really be one with your own kind. Whereas in reality, I'm separated mostly from my own kind, or from other human types of human beings, and only connected to the psychopathic types of human beings, because they actually are using the internet spider's web, or the internet mind control system that exists on Earth, which is advanced technology. Like it's more advanced than what I'm using now with the mobile, but it's all invisible, because it's all done like the internet through invisible, what they call the Wi-Fi systems and things. But all these things, we use words and we've heard of them, but we don't understand. We know that it's invisible, but we don't understand that it's a lot more advanced, because everything is always about